If your immigration request has taken so long that your relationship is now at risk, this video can help you. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Marvin, and I've been specializing in immigration law for over a decade. My main office is in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but we help people in every state in the country and really any country in the world. If this is your first time watching my channel, welcome. And please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you get notified of future videos about matters related to immigration that can really help you if you're an immigrant or you have a family member who's an immigrant. Please stick around until later on in the video where I give a very important example of a real life client that this has happened to. And by this, I mean the topic of this video, which is my relationship is ending because immigration is taking too darn long to process my request. So USCIS uses a lot of tactics to evaluate different requests for immigration benefits that is complicated, takes long, but it also gives them a unique opportunity to use it to create delays in their process. And this tactic is being used more and more by immigration today. So they delay the review so that quite literally the relationship fizzles apart and ends. So it's intentional in my opinion, in my experience, it's a very intentional delay to try to get people to end their relationship. Because all of a sudden, immigration doesn't have to do an approval or make a decision. They just wait to see what happens. And what happens is somebody withdraws their request, or an angry spouse calls the government and says, hey, I'm no longer sponsoring this guy because he's whatever. Insert the word, right? You get the point. They sit around and they wait, okay? Sniffing out fraud is definitely the government's job, and we want them to do that. But using this as a tactic so they don't have to make a decision, yeah, that's pretty crummy, actually. So I want people watching this video, if you've experienced this or this is going on for you, you need to do some soul searching and look at whether you've given off vibes that may have given the government a reason to believe that your relationship is not strong enough, or that there's other things going on, okay? So what do I mean by that? So USCIS, if they believe that a relationship is too convenient, too short, looks like it was entered mostly for immigration benefits, then they can and do delay their reviews so that they can facilitate the breakup of the relationship so they're done, right? They don't have to worry about any more reviews. They're done. The problem resolves itself, and they just have to decide whether they're going to try to deport somebody for trying to commit fraud, okay? So this is a big deal. It's not just fun and games. It's not just to rag on the government. This has a direct impact on people's rights and their future. So when does this usually happen? Usually this happens during waiver processes, removal of conditions. It could also happen during the I-130 process or the I-485 process. So basically, any process for a green card that takes longer than, a couple months is fair game for the government, okay? So again, I get that they have to review and make sure people aren't lying to them, but there is a limit, or there should be a limit, to how often they delay things just to mess with people, okay? So what are some of the signs or the reasons that could explain why this may be happening to you? So this could happen if there's a history of prior unlawful entries, prior deportations, prior multiple relationships, or quick relationships that usually involve immediate application for immigration benefits. So if that's part of your history, that could explain why the government may think that you're committing fraud, okay? As I promised in my opening, I was going to give you an example of this happening to an actual client that I actually have right now, okay? So husband and wife were going through the green card process, and we got to the point where we're filing for the waiver. So we filed for the waiver, and the government kept delaying us by rejecting the filing, okay? So they reject the filing 3 times with no justification, no legal justification. Whatever they wrote on the explanation was not a real reason, okay? It was just a tactic for them to be able to delay the process. We had to file again and again and again. As a result of the stress, the relationship is not over, but they decided to separate. They're still married, so there's still a chance that they can prevail and move forward in the future, but everything, and this is the takeaway for you guys, everything comes down to the strength of the relationship, okay? So if your relationship is strong enough to weather this sort of storm, then you're fine. It's annoying, it's ridiculous, it's frustrating, but if you have a strong relationship, you're eventually going to prevail. And that's what the government is banking on. So is it a brilliant tactic for them? Maybe. Does it seem underhanded and shady? It does to me, okay? So keep that in mind. If this sort of stuff is happening to you, that could be a reason. So this video is not intended to provide any real solutions for anyone who has already filed, at least, but this could be used to explain why you might have problems and is something to think about for when you go forward and file your request. If you have these histories, you may need to talk to your attorney and figure out how you make sure to sanitize that so that this doesn't happen to you, okay? If you have specific questions about this, you can reach out to me by clicking the link below. You can subscribe so you get notified of future videos about this. Again, this is complicated. Highly advise that you speak to an experienced immigration attorney for help if you have a situation like this. If I'm that guy, great. Reach out to me. I want to help you succeed.